The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my show, The Right Side. Doug Billings here with you. Thank you for joining me from wherever you are in the United States and around the world. Please like and share the episode. It's very important. Subscribe on YouTube and follow wherever else you're watching on social media. And go to dougbillings.us to prayerfully consider contributing to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's how we continue to bring it to you free of charge. Contribute to the program. dougbillings.us. All right. I want to talk to you today about something bigger than politics, my friends. It's bigger than elections. It's bigger than personalities. What we're witnessing right now in the United States of America is, and I'm going to need you to think this through before just having a knee-jerk reaction, but what we're witnessing in the United States of America right now is a genuine renaissance of the conservative movement. This is not a moment. It's not a trend. It is a renewal. It's even beyond the golden age that President Trump has called it, in my opinion. We are seeing a reawakening of the very principles that built this republic in the first place. The renaissance right now that's happening is occurring because accountability, constitutional clarity, and cultural confidence are returning to the American bloodstream. And yesterday, the Supreme Court just gave us one of the clearest signs yet that this renewal is real. In a very monumental 6-3 decision in a case called Louisiana versus Calais, Justice Samuel Alito wrote for the majority opinion and delivered a landmark ruling that the Voting Rights Act does not require states to draw race-based congressional districts. Race can't be the predominant factor in map making, ladies and gentlemen. This is a direct rejection of the radical left Commusocialist, formerly known as Democrat Party's long-running strategy to turn every redistricting battle into a racial quota system. Well, it's not constitutional. So what we're seeing from the Supreme Court is a restoration of the proper constitutional balance that the founders intended. States, not federal judges or activist lawyers, control their own electoral maps. The states are in charge. Thank you very much. The immediate call to action then, of course, for us is unmistakable. Every Republican-controlled legislature in this country has got to move immediately this year, this month, this session to draw fair, compact, and community-based maps before the 2026 elections. The window is open. So delay is not being neutral, ladies and gentlemen. Delay is to deny conservatism. Nowhere in this decision is the contrast more obvious than right here in Kansas. And Kansas is just an example of how it might apply to wherever you live, in whatever state. Because on paper, Kansas has a Republican supermajority that's strong enough to pass almost anything they want and to overcome almost any veto that would be issued by our Commusocialist, formerly known as Democrat, governor. But in the House, we have the Speaker, Dan Hawkins, who has refused to even call for a floor vote on the redistricting issue. And he claims, well, we don't have anywhere near the votes to get this done, so why bother? Ladies and gentlemen, that is not leadership. That's a classic RINO feckless leader. And the people of Kansas and in every state that are in the same positions as we are deserve to know. We deserve to know exactly where our representatives stand on these kinds of issues. Hiding behind, we don't have the votes. Sorry, Doug. Well, that tells conservatives that their values aren't worth the fight. It's a spit in the face to the grassroots movement. And you contrast that with what real leadership looks like that's happening in other states. I mean, there's a list of them we could mention. Florida, under Governor Ron DeSantis, they're already moving aggressively to redistrict. Missouri, they've already completed their work. Texas, it's positioned to strengthen its delegation even further. So these states understand that the assignment that the Supreme Court just handed them is in action. While the courts clarify the rules, the real engine of this renaissance is the quiet, undeniable return. The return to ideas that work. Energy independence is back. America once again is the world's top producer, driving gas prices down, putting money back in your pocket. I know we've got the Iran crisis going on, but gas prices have been held in check simply because of our dominance. Imagine how worse it could have been if the other side was in charge. Border enforcement is protecting American wages and our sovereignty, our national identity. Law and order is fighting crime, illegal immigration, and it's reclaiming and preserving, again, the American identity of exceptionalism. Religious liberty is being defended again as the first freedom, which it is, the very first freedom listed by the founders. National defense that actually deters enemies is returning to this country. And these aren't abstract ideas, ladies and gentlemen. These are the measurable results. Lower costs, safer streets, stronger families, the return of morality, and the renewed sense of national confidence that we all feel. Millions of independent voters, and even former Democrats, they're quietly reassessing where they go because they've compared outcomes. And conservatism has won. So they're leaving the Democrat Party in droves by multiple dozens of millions. Today, the Trump Department of Justice released a 200-page task force, a report that was chaired by acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. Now, this task force report laid out bare the Biden administration's systematic anti-Christian bias. And it documents how federal agencies weaponized mandates, prosecutions, investigations against people of faith, from denied religious exemptions for COVID vaccines to targeted actions against pro-life demonstrators and Catholic parishes. This was the radical left answering the call of their dark messiah, Barack Obama, to, quote, fundamentally transform America. And they did that by attacking the core pillars of faith, family, and freedom. Make no mistake, it was no accident. And the proud conservative truth is this. This report is proof that the accountability that we've wanted has returned. The same constitutional system that the left tried to bend is now correcting its course. And that correction is reaching the elected class, the elites, who thought that they were permanently above the law. James Comey, Anthony Fauci, his inner circle, Letitia James, Fani Willis, and others, John Bolton, John Brennan soon, they're going to be facing real scrutiny for the abuses of power that we watched them inflict upon us. And it's not retribution. I want to be clear about that. Conservatives do not deal in retribution, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who you've heard say that, we're going to get retribution. Retribution is coming. We want revenge. They're kooks, and they're chasing clickbait. Conservatives don't engage in that stupidity. We engage, thank you very much, in the pursuit of real justice. And that's the basic principle that no one, no matter how powerful, gets to live above the law. That's real justice. Meanwhile, this Commusocialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, is running on empty. It has no platform. It has no ideas, no pro-American agenda. All it offers is purposeful chaos and resistance of the orange man. We've got to resist Trump at every turn, every angle. They're under orders they're under orders not to support President Trump. And that vacuum is our greatest opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, because with this Supreme Court ruling removing their ability to rig maps through racial engineering, and with states like Florida, Missouri, and Texas that are acting boldly, realistic projections now show Republicans are positioned for net gains, anywhere between 10 and 15 seats in the House in 2016, with even larger expansions possible by 2028. Now, of course, this surprises you. Of course, you're hearing this and you're going, what? What's Billings talking about? It's because the media, ruled by the Commusocialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, is not going to tell you this. In the Senate, we're poised to gain 3 to 5 net pickups. This cycle, which could build a stable majority that lasts through the 2032 cycle and beyond even that. By 2036, ladies and gentlemen, the structural advantages, fair maps, proven results, and an opposition with nothing to offer would position America for one of the longest periods of conservative governance in modern history. Look, my friends, this renaissance is not about one election. It's not about one leader. It's a constitutional correction. It's a return to the principles of limited government, individual liberty, and self-government that made America exceptional. And history proves that after periods of turbulence and overreach and tyranny, the American people reward clarity, competence, and courage. We're living in one of those rare windows of opportunity where the ideas, the results, and the constitutional moment are all aligning at once. And the best days of this republic are not behind us. We're at a point where we are building the best moments of this republic right now, block by block, state by state, and principle by principle. Please give yourselves permission to believe this, because with that belief, you'll arm yourself with motivation and you'll shed away the demon of cynicism. And when you are ignited with this kind of passion and belief in this renaissance of America, you'll want it to last, and you'll get motivated to take action in your local level of government and keep it. It's what the founders counted on. We, the people, managing and taking charge of our government. Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, you got to share this out. Share it, make a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Go, please, to DougBillings.us, www.DougBillings.us, and prayerfully consider contributing to the show. Even if you set up a monthly recurring $5 a month contribution, it helps. And we, ladies and gentlemen, stay engaged. It's your call to action. Stay engaged, stay informed, stay on the right side, stay faithful to the ideas that built this country. Because America is not merely recovering, we are rising again. We're in this thing together, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it, for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.